When I was 2 years old, my mom figured out that my father was never going to give up his life of crime. Her fear of his violence led her to run all the way to Reno, still famous in the 1950s for quickie divorces. Unfortunately, my father stalked her and he eventually found her. I woke up confused, hearing my mother's body hit the walls, and the yelling and the screaming and the cries of pain. My father was really doing a number on her. He slapped her, punched her, and kicked her again and again while I sort of caved in on myself. I initially covered my head with my pillow, trying to block it all out, but when I couldn't take it anymore, I sat up, shouting, "Stop it! Stop it!" A hush fell. Maybe my father did have enough decency not to beat my mother in front of his kids. I was 5 years old. My father was violent and intimidating to the point that even the police were afraid of him. He was unarmed when they shot him to death. And afterwards, the coroner said that my father was shot so many times that the lead actually fell from his body when it was picked up for removal. I was 12 years old. I spent much of my childhood refining and practicing many of the techniques that would ultimately serve me as a psychotherapist. As a young man, I did not value my past. I had watched and studied my own family for so long. I denigrated the value of coming to understand them. I thought it was just a normal part of life for everybody. I was too close to it all and too ashamed. I'd grown up as the eldest child of an alcoholic mother and a father whose own mental illness included a diagnosis of paranoid schizophrenia. It's not surprising that I was intrigued by why families do what they do, given my background. But these facts about my family were always painful to me, and they were never a source of gratitude in my early years. To be linked to my father's criminality was so to be avoided that my mother gave us boys assumed names that we used throughout our school lives. What began as a child's attempt to understand his family grew into my life habit of trying to understand why and how good people, even the police, can come to do really bad things, and how couples who start off with so much love and hope can go so disastrously off course from their dreams. In my work counseling those who run afoul of the law, I came to realize that by helping the fathers of other children, I was helping them in a way I wish I could have helped my own father. I was supporting those children in a way I wish I could have been supported. The 5-year-old boy I once was could begin developing mastery over his terrors from the past. Eventually, I came to see that for those who care about victims, helping perpetrators prevents future victims from ever becoming victims at all. As my career has unfolded, sex crimes, violent crimes, and tormented marriages have remained my focus. From these overwhelmingly sad situations, I've learned from those who have suffered the most how we can all find lasting personal happiness. These individuals can and do teach us about how love dies and how we can prevent it from doing so, if we can only begin to listen to what they have to teach us. The educated among us know how to intelligently manage their nutritional needs, their careers, their finances, and virtually everything going on in their life, but no one teaches anyone how to intelligently manage their sexuality. Writing books, public speaking was hard for me at first, but my desire to begin sharing what I'd learned became a growing obsession, and I started giving little talks. Eventually, I came to create a different kind of true crime podcast. I called it Sex Crime Central, and the difference would be talking about sex crimes, all committed by offenders known to me, but instead of treating true crime as if it were true crime porn, each episode ends with a debriefing explaining how the offender came to commit the crime. Most true crime focuses on titillation, horrifying titillation, just as porn focuses on the titillating sexual bits. But detectives, teachers, therapists, and former victims alike find my debriefings to be calming. Knowing what the hell is going on has that effect on all of us. In addition to my training and my professional experience, my own personal spectacular failures have together taught me that when it comes to love, there's no such thing as luck. I've spent a lifetime learning the secrets to success in relationships by vicariously living through my clients' stories. And now from my home overlooking the valley where I've lived most of my life, I can see the very street where my story started. And yeah, families are still running from violence. Children are still scared and needing a safe place. And I know now that every mistake and every terror from the past can be understood, and not only understood, but thankfully overcome. We have a new world to build for ourselves. So let's get to work.